Hello there and welcome to BozTech. My name's Boz and today we are looking at another set of free Switch games. So as we discussed last time, if you don't have any money in your pocket, that doesn't necessarily preclude you from playing some games. So today we're looking at it a little bit differently. We're looking at the best multiplayer games for the Nintendo Switch. So without much further ado, let's get into the rest of the video. So the first game on my list is Smite. Now Smite is a MOBA much in the same vein as Arena of Valor that we looked at last time, and also League of Legends and Dota 2. The style of MOBA, however, is a little bit different. What we have here is a 3D third-person camera MOBA, and so it plays in a number of different ways to the way those sorts of games do. Obviously, you've got skill shots for some things in those games, but the auto-attacking normally works pretty automatically. But with this one, you actually have to aim your auto-attacks, which makes it a very interesting prospect. Now, I don't love this game, but I can see a lot of potential there. Personally, I just can't get to grips with the characters. It can be a bit confusing, as MOBAs are, and maybe it's just my reluctance to get into another one. Arena of Valor is very, very similar to League of Legends, which I'm used to, so I'm able to pick that up in no time at all. But this one is just a little bit different, and for me that's an extra challenge I can't be dealing with. That said, if you put some time into this game, I'm sure you'd enjoy it. The main thing about this game is that there are a few different modes that most MOBAs don't have. So we've got the arena, which is a battle between you and another team, essentially, and all that you have to do, rather than going through lanes and attacking another base, you really just have to get your minions to the other side of a single circular room. And the way you do that is obviously killing the enemy's minions and killing your opponents. So it's a bit of a different take on that whole genre. In a way, it kind of turns it into more of a hero shooter style game rather than the traditional MOBA that you might be acquainted with if you're aware of those other games. So one thing I do like about this game is it's really content rich, but one major issue with it is that to unlock a lot of that content you have to put a long time into the game. So unlocks in this game can either be done through the microtransactions, as obviously you're going to see a lot in these free-to-play games, or all of the essentials like the gods can be unlocked through gameplay. But that said, it's a fun game. I think if you can get over the learning curve of a MOBA and you're interested in a new MOBA, this might be one to look at. But for me personally, I'm kind of burnt out on the whole MOBA thing at the moment. Now, the next game on my list is by the same company as Smite. So Hi-Rez Studio have also made a fantastic shooter. Now, it has been accused of being an Overwatch clone, and I can't really refute that because it's pretty similar. There is a lot of similarities with regards to the characters, but I understand, I haven't played a huge amount of Overwatch, but I understand there are key differences that can change the way these games are played quite drastically. Now, I've really enjoyed this time. I've played it with friends. It's a solid shooting game, but it's very much that hero shooter style. It's not a straight up shooter. It's more of your TF2 or your Overwatch style game. And if you're into that, then give this a go. I mean, we don't have Overwatch on Switch, so this is a good free alternative. And it's got the fun modes from those games, but it doesn't quite capture the charm of TF2 for me. But you know, in terms of class variety, there's a lot more class variety than TF2, so some people might love that. You know, there's a certain mastery that you're going to need to get with every one of the characters to sort of have a fully balanced. But you know, you can one trick something and you can have a good time with this. Mostly the shooting and things sort of change the way a game's played, as opposed to with a MOBA where you need to know exactly what every character does. Here you can just pick up a controller and you can play it. Very little setup. You just need to know what you're doing on the map, and that's always a very simple objective. So normally it's pushing a car or doing one of a number of other objectives. So I like this game. I like it a lot better than Smite. It uses the same microtransaction model, which I'm not in love with, but I can see why it's acceptable in a free-to-play game. And if you're going to do free-to-play, this is probably the right way to do it, with unlocks that you can unlock through in-game currency, as opposed to just knocking off half the content until someone buys some DLC. So what we've got here is Brawlhalla, which is, well, let's not beat around the bush, it's a Smash Brothers clone. That's essentially what it is. It's not as good as that game. I'm just going to throw that out there straight away. It is in no way a straight up replacement for Smash Brothers. Now, it's still a fun game, but if you've got Smash Brothers, you probably want to give this one a miss, because it's the same style, so it's that sort of far out chaotic fighter, but it's not got any of the complexity. I can't get behind the combat. It seems a little bit light and there's no impact or anything. It's just not as fun a game to play, and that's a real shame because it could have been so much better. I never really feel like I'm given any agency with my character. Characters don't seem different enough. Now, it's got some interesting characters and some skins and things in there. So it's got a character that's skinned as Shovel Knight, and it's got Rayman as original character. But some of these things, they take a long time to unlock, and you're really going to have to grind to get some of these special characters. And what it really directs you towards is those microtransactions once again. So it's disappointing to see the game go so far down that route. Obviously, I understand it's free to play, but I would have preferred to have a game that was solid and made me want to buy into it with those skins. Now, I don't mind the fact that the characters take a little while to unlock, but they shouldn't take ages and ages. We should have a decent roster to begin with. The characters don't have the same level of charm as Smash Brothers anyway, and I would hate for Smash Brothers to go down this route. Thank God Nintendo's not EA or somebody for microtransactions, because it would be terrible if they ever went down that route. I like there being all the characters there. Obviously you've got the DLCs coming, but ultimately I'm okay with that because that is a really well polished game. But here there's just some polish elements that are missing. But give it a go. You know, as I've said with all of these games, they are free to play, so you have nothing to lose apart from the hard drive space or the SD card space on your Switch. You know, give it a go. It's your kind of game. You want a fighting game, you don't have Smash Brothers, pick this one up and give it a go. Now, the next game on this list is brilliant. I have fallen in love with this game. Now, I played it a little bit around launch, and I was blown away by how well it runs for the kind of complexity this game has. You know, again, it has microtransactions like the others, but the difference here is that there are ways in-game to earn everything that you could possibly want. I mean right down to the skins. You can trade for currency. You can earn it. If you want to skip some of the grind and buy into it, that's fine. If you want to buy some skins, you want to buy some extra slots, whatever, you can do that. But you're not really forced to. Now, one of the major problems with this game is that the new player experience outside of the regular gameplay is very, very obtuse. You cannot find where you need to go. I found myself coming out to the wiki a little bit to find what I needed to progress in some ways, but the core gameplay is just so addictive that it made it worth that extra bit of effort. Now, they know that this is a bit of an issue, and they are making strides to make this game better all the time. This game's been out a few years now, and they're still updating it with content, and it's fun. It's Space Ninjas. You know, you drop into an area, you use guns, you use your swords, you use other weapons. You can really have a great time. It's got all these different modes. It's got modes that are very much like horde modes that you find in your Halos and things. And it's far too good to be free, this game. You know, if you pick it up, I would encourage you to, you know, put some time into it, really give it a go, because it is such a fun game. It has huge openings. Now, performance isn't the greatest on Switch. It's never going to be. On the other platforms, it might run better. If you've got somewhere else to play it, maybe play it there. But I found it absolutely fine on the Switch. I haven't had an issue with it. Now, I've got a PC, so I'm editing on, but it's so much more fun to be able to just play this anywhere. You know, I've got a young family and things, so I don't always have time to sit in front of my computer and be playing something, but I can play this in the living room whilst I chat to my son, and I can chat to my girlfriend. It's good to have portable, you know. If all games were portable and like this, I'd be pretty happy. It's a solid game, and for free, it's just so in-depth. There are game modes that do everything in this game. Everything you can imagine in a shooter. It's even got PvP elements if you choose to go into that. Now, I haven't really dived into that because the PvE content is just so rich. I mean, I have put hours into this game now. I mean, I'll just have a look at how many hours I've got in this game, and I guarantee you I will have a ridiculous amount of hours in this game compared to basically any other game on this list. So I have, and bear in mind I started playing this when I started recording for this video, I have 70 hours or more of gameplay in Warframe. That's just how good it is. So if you want to play this game, if it looks good to you, I fully recommend you give it a download and give it a try, because there isn't too much more I can say about it. The free running is amazing, the combat is amazing, the microtransaction system, although it very much directs you down that route at first and it looks really pay to win, it's totally not. You can earn everything in this game. There's boss battles, there's lore, there's a full vibrant universe, there's great clans. You know, it is such a in-depth game, and really, if it wasn't a free-to-play, I think it'd probably even be more popular. I think people are put off by the fact that it's that free-to-play model. But like I say, you can unlock everything, so there's no reason to really fear this game as free-to-play. So if you would download one of the games on this list, this would be the one I recommend. Now, the last game on this list. Now, this game needs no introduction. It's the biggest game in the world, or it certainly was for a time. It's Fortnite. So I feel like I don't really even need to explain what Fortnite is. If you're on YouTube, you have seen something about Fortnite. You've heard something about Fortnite. It is a good game. It's not a perfect game by any means. It's not for me. I've only played a little bit. I'm not that great at it, as you will see from some of the footage here. But ultimately, it's a solid game, and it is free. So if you think you might be into it and you haven't played it yet, I mean, you can run this thing on your phone, but it's better on the Switch because you've got physical controls. So if you don't know where to play this game and it's something you're interested in, you like the Battle Royale genre, and you don't mind the cartoony art style, you don't mind the added complexity of the building, it's worth a go for free. You know whether you like it. If you haven't played it, pick it up, give it a go. It's, you know, I'm giving you games here that you could spend hours on all of these games. I mean, like I say, I put 70 hours into Warframe. I probably put maybe 6 hours into Fortnite on the Switch, but it's good. It's just not great to me, but I understand why people like it. It's a good game. So that's all for the video today. So let me know what you think. Leave me a comment down in the description. Like the video if you liked it. Give it a thumbs down if you didn't. Subscribe if you want to see some more from me. We're going to be talking about some more free games coming up. I plan to look at every free game on the Switch. If you haven't seen my previous video, feel free to have a look at that. And let's have a bit of a conversation about it. Which is your favourite free game on the Switch? Do you disagree with any of my opinions? Do you think Smite's brilliant? Fortnite is trash? Let me know down in the comments. That's all for today. Thanks very much, guys. Bye.